Hi everyone, here is Robin Good. Today topic is duplicate content. I had promised that I would come back to this and take a closer look to what are the issues, the real problems, the myths, and how we should really handle this type of content delivery option, let's call it. The problem, the issue is two-sided. Those who publish content and are either doubtful, curious, or outright mad at people who are taking their content and republishing somewhere else that content. They don't like it, they want to stop it, they think it's not right, they think it's not fair, and they also think it penalizes themselves. Is that true? Is that really happening? The other side of the coin is for those people that actually would like to publish duplicate content, would like to take existing content and put it out there, and don't know whether this is just something illegal, outright okay, and where are actually the true limits of the two. What is illegal and what can be done when it comes to republishing content from somebody else? Let me address this issue right away. First of all, it is completely okay to republish content from anyone as long as you have permission to do so. So there are no penalizations, no negative consequences from the major search engines if you are replicating content from another site. There is actually a thriving industry called article marketing that lives just on top of providing this opportunity to online publishers who are looking for content. Small, big, medium-sized publishers looking for content have plenty of directories where they can, generally for a subscription price, purchase the articles they want to use and republish them word for word as they have been placed by the original author. And many times they can do also this for free, only in exchange for providing a bio box, a resource box at the end of the article, which states clearly who's the name of the author who originally wrote the article, and a link back to their site with some description of what they do. Why does this happen? Because it's a very effective way to get links back to your site. That is, if you're great at writing content and you want many sites to link back to you, one strategy that has been there for many years is to make your content available for others to republish at the condition that they place at the end of the article a specific resource box indicating who's the author and linking back to it. That provides a win-win situation because those people who are looking for content find good content, and it costs them nothing to republish it, only reserving that space for a link at the end. And for those who want to get all those links back, it does really work. I wrote an article about it. I am not actively promoting doing it. I don't do it myself in this way, but we need to make clear that it is okay to do it. There is nothing wrong with that. Why then are people saying that duplicate content is something that is going to penalize them or the sites that do it? These are the people who have not kept up with how things are, who have not checked facts, who have not gone and read and tried out these things themselves, because if they did, they would have found out very fast that it's not the case at all. I myself am a publisher that about once or twice a week, that's generally my average, I have established some relationship with some content providers, some specific authors with whom I've talked to, I've exchanged, we've become good friends, and I've asked from time to time to select articles that I like from them and to publish them. With some of these people, I really ask each individual time if I can republish their content. And I write an email and say, hey, look, John, I think this is absolutely great. Can I take it and put it on? And he says, yes, go ahead. Absolutely, no problem. I liked how you did it the last time. Or they say, oh, no, let's wait another couple of months before you do another one. So they're free to decide, absolutely. And what is the advantage for me and for them? Well, I have some communication skills that I can really put to use for myself and for others. That is, if they give me content, I don't like to republish content as is. I want to enrich it. I want to make it more legible, more scannable. I want to add images and illustrations that help the reader get more interested into the stuff. I'm going to add extra links to references, resources, to explain buzzwords and technical terms that are not easy to read for my audience. I'm going to add related articles and books on the same topic to it. So I'm going to do a lot of upgrading to the article. I'm going to add extra information. I'm going to write my own intro to it. So, first of all, I'm adding extra value. At least 2 people have said that this does make a difference. Mike Power wrote in a blog that I can point to in the text associated to this video, has pointed out how much more understandable an article can become if treated in a certain way. So while I'm republishing, say, the content of George Siemens that he publishes in little snippets day by day, I take it at the end of the week and make a column about making sense of media and technologies by illustrating, adding images, making the text a little more readable. Well, somebody else says that there is a universe of difference between the original and the duplicate version. So I am providing to the network some extra value by going out of my way and not just wanting to take it easy and, oh, I don't want to work today. Let me just take some content and put it there. I want actually to spread more this info because I like the guy and I like what he wrote. So I have a specific interest and I want to add something on my own to it. So what is the end benefit? That this content gets to more people, because many of my readers, and they are not few, would have not read George Siemens stuff, they are not subscribed to it, they wouldn't have just coincidentally fallen into his blog or site like that. So I am passing to them something that they would have not read otherwise. So I am extending George Siemens' reach, and some of my readers are going to read on a systematic basis George without going through me, subscribing to his feed, reading his blog, because they trust that if I pass something to them, it's going to be valuable. I'm not trying to pass the thing of George or anybody else as mine. I put clearly the authorship, I put clearly who wrote it, when, what was the original title, where you can go and find it. So I fully give credit to the original guy. I mean, that's the thing that I think is most important to do, to credit and to show where you find a great gem. So there is a benefit for me, there is a benefit for him, there is a benefit for my readers as well. Plus, there is a great bunch of people who are going to find his content or whatever other content I'm going to replicate, thanks to the fact that I'm not going to replicate also the title in the same exact way, because that is not being intelligent with how the web works. Many people will come to content because they're searching for something. So if you replicate content coming from another site with the same title, you're really not adding too many new hooks for people to find that content via search engines. But if you add an introduction, do all those extra content value things, and put a new title to it, while preserving inside the article the original title and referencing that one as well, but your official title is going to be a new one, maybe more pertinent to the language your readers use, or maybe better done. If the original guy isn't that good at doing titles, and that's pretty common, you can improve a lot on it. that will greatly extend the number of people that can find that content. So the original author should actually be thankful to you for having done a job that is extending his reach at no extra cost to him. So as long as credit is preserved, that you add some extra value, that you change the title in a way that is meaningful, relevant, and offers new hooks for people to find content, duplicating content is a win-win situation that everybody should go after, not fight. This is my very first key point. And what I want to add to this is that the permission request is actually very important. Even though the guy may have a Creative Commons license, even if they say public domain, I think that it is decisive that you go out of your way and you write an email saying you're going to republish content before you actually do it. You should write an email saying, I like this article for this and this reason. I want to republish it on my site, and I want to provide you full credit, link back. I'm going to put an intro to it. I'm going to add a new title. So just say it all and say what they say. Some people are going to love it and say, just go for it because they understood how the web works. Some other people would say, oh, but why don't you just put a link to it? Fine. I mean, they have not understood how the web works. They're too concerned with, holding on to their stuff. They don't understand that they're not serving their own interest. Well, let them live. That's what is important to understand. Now, for those original authors that complain because somebody is scraping their site or using their feeds to republish automatically content without crediting them or with crediting them or with no links back, they have all the right to complain. Absolutely all the right. Complain. Scream. Let the people know who are the people doing this, because these are scammers and we don't need any of this. So you find your posts are replicated somewhere else, you find your content being taken away from you. It's really hard to stop these small guys trying to make an extra buck with hundreds of little websites that replicate content coming from feeds and passing it as theirs. What you can do is to embed some links inside your own content back to your own site. So even if they do that, they're going to do a favor to you too. That's the only solution I've found, because going after them is very time consuming, very difficult. Some of these people are very nasty, and so I prefer to invest my time in other things. So what I do, ethically, without doing anything dirty, when there is an opportunity to clarify a term with something that I explain on my site, well, put back a link. I put back a link to it. Or let's say there is no such situation. At the end of the article, before I publish it, I say original article written by Robin Good for Master New Media, linking back to Master New Media, and published today date as such title. I write the title of the article and I link back to myself, to my very article that I'm going to publish. You say, how do I do it since it's not published? Well, I can figure out the URL is gonna get later on. Should be pretty easy for you too. So you figure out that URL, you put it in, the moment it goes out, it has a link back to itself. Why? Because if people take it up and republish it, it goes back home automatically. Finally, a couple more things to say about duplicate content. You can take content from somebody else, stuck it on your page, and claim that it's all okay, as you're adding also a Creative Commons license under it. I mean, if you have a Creative Commons license for your own content that you write, that license doesn't apply to content that you're taking from other sites. So hold on a minute. Creative Commons content licensing applies to your content. If you're going to take somebody else's content and you put it on your site and you leave a license there, that license should pretty clearly say, except where otherwise noted, this content on this site is under a Creative Commons license. Now, at the end of that article that you're replicating, you should say that that article is copyright of such and such a person, and unless they are publishing under a Creative Commons license, and originally published in this place, at this site, in this link. Absolutely. I mean, you can convert copyrighted content, and all content is copyrighted. I mean, content that is not a public domain or Creative Commons license, you can convert it to become such just by putting it on your site where you have a Creative Commons license. I know it's even too obvious to say it, but believe me, there are people who do it and probably have not really gotten this clear, or gotten it clear that it may be quite offensive to the original author to see their content published on another site that at the bottom of it says Creative Commons, unless they've written that the content, otherwise noted, that content they're duplicated has its own copyright. Okay? Finally, some people in this story about duplicating content blame it all on Google, blame it all on those who duplicate content. Let's see the two stories. They blame it on Google because they say that Google really serves its own advertisers and moves up and down sites and brands according to who pays them better. I tell these people to really look into the matter a little better. I can be wrong, but for what I can see, if there is a negative thing, is that Google doesn't put any humanity in the system that they're using. And so if your page, which you thought was so great, is not ranking anymore in page 1, why don't you look at how many times you have updated it since the time it was on page 1? How many links have gone bad on that page? How many more other people have woken up to the fact that the web works in certain ways, and having pages similar to yours have started to upgrade their content, to get more links from other sites to it, and so on and so on. So the web is not static. Why you should be on page 2 forever? Who said that? Who said that Google is being paid by richer companies so that they move up? I don't think they do that, and I prefer not to believe they do so. If you have any proof that Google does that, and you can show it, you should publish and make really clear how you're getting those thoughts into your heads, because just injecting those speculation really does harm in helping Google, if it's not evil yet, and we have to prove it is not, to, confirm its good attitudes when they have them. And I think they have them in this respect, even to the detriment of some of the publishers and advertisers in their system. So if your page is not anymore on page 1 of Google, it's not because people are duplicating your content. I think because your page sucks in some way, or starts to suck a lot more than other pages that in the meanwhile have done some good work. If somebody duplicating your content is getting ahead of you in Google, maybe also because they really have added extra value to the content. They've put more links, they've gone out of their way to provide extra information, they've put images, related stuff to it that can help. So Google, believe me, knows always who's first to publish that content. He has no doubts about it. So if you're not up there, even though you publish first, it may not be just because Google was sleeping and it just got somebody else with your content up. If Google has put that other content up before you, it's because Google believes, thanks also to the behavior of users like me and you, that that other content is actually better than yours. Go back and look at your page and what percentage of that page is made up of content, of advertising, and of navigation or self-promotional links. And then go and compare with your duplicating competitor how much content, value, ads, navigation they have on their page. And then stop, get a drink, and think about it. That's what I think you need to think about to really leverage the power of duplicate content. Think about these things. Ciao from Robin Good.